Hello there, my name's Dan and welcome to my polytunnel. So some of you may be aware I'm growing a variety of banana plants here. So today I'm going to making a video giving you an update on how the banana plants are doing here, and hopefully this will inspire you, if you will, to have a go at growing your own banana plants in a colder climate such as the UK. One of my long-term gardening aims is to produce a crop of edible bananas here in the UK. So it's a very challenging thing to try to achieve, but hopefully one day I will do it. I made a video last year detailing how I intend to be doing this, and I featured this plant here. This is variety Musa Dwarf Cavendish. I'll link that video down below, and that may interest you to have a look at that. This variety here, Musa Dwarf Cavendish, so I purchased this plant here. I think it was close to about 2 years ago. I'll link a video down below so you can see what this plant looked like when I first purchased it. So it's grown very well indeed. It's in a 30-litre container, so it's doing very well indeed, well draining growing medium, and it's put out some really strong growth, some really lovely beautiful leaves. You can see just how big this leaf is here. And I remember when I was in the Philippines years ago, I remember eating rice off of a banana leaf. So really nice, and the plant here is growing nice and strong. So when I water it with rainwater, give it a good watering about 2 or 3 times a week. You can see the pot there that it's growing in. You can see just how sturdy the stem of the banana plant has got. So look at that, really solid, put out nice bit of growth there and looking really healthy indeed. So really happy with how this plant has done. You can see this rather large sucker here, and you can see a smaller sucker down here and another one down the back there. These are otherwise known as pups, and this is how the banana plants propagate themselves. Taking your own suckers, pups, etc. from existing banana plants is relatively easy, so I'll link a video down below in the description box. You can look at that if you'd like to learn how to do it. So you can see these here. Now this one here was a sucker I took. It's doing really well, going strong, and you can see it's even put up its own one here, so a bit more propagation going on there, which is brilliant. Now this one here, there's a bit of a story attached to this. So I took a sucker from the Musa Cavendish plant, Musa Dwarf Cavendish, and later on that proceeded to die. By then I'd already moved it inside because it was cold by then, but it died back, and I thought, well, that's the end of that one. Well, what happened was, a few months later I noticed that this little sucker here had appeared. So obviously, even though the top had died, the underneath had continued to grow, and it put up this sucker. So in the middle of last winter inside, I had this beautiful little surprise of this sucker that came up, and so you can see I've got 3 suckers here. And I'll be able to propagate from these at a later date, separate them and remove them, pot them up, and hopefully end up with some full-size Musa Dwarf Cavendish plants from them. Now the variety Musa Dwarf Cavendish or Dwarf Cavendish, this is not a hardy variety, meaning they will not take the cold. So the other night we had temperatures down to about 5 degrees C, which is around 41 degrees Fahrenheit, and the plants took that. I didn't worry about that too much, and the fact that was only one night, so I left the plants out here. Now it has been said that non-hardy banana plants don't really like going below about 10 degrees C, which is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not long now until all of my Dwarf Cavendish plants are going to be going inside, because I really do not want to lose them. Dwarf Cavendish plants are really lovely. So you can see the young plants, they have this beautiful sort of pattern on the leaves. And so you can see these little stems here, they're really beautiful looking plants. And even if, you know, I never get any fruit off of my banana plants, they make beautiful, majestic, ornamental plants anyway, either in the garden or as a house plant. This brings me on to my next plant. So this is variety Musa dajiao, and there is a school of thought that could maybe suggest that this could be a cold hardy edible variety of banana, but we shall see what happens. Now I'm really not convinced by it, and I'm certainly not going to be taking a risk leaving this exposed to the cold this winter, so this will be coming in as well. So with regards to certain exotic plants, some say that once the plants are a little bit more mature, then they are better stood, if you will, to withstand colder winters. But even so, it's not a risk I'm willing to take. Maybe if and when this propagates, I can then take some suckers from it, some pups, and then see how they fare. Let a few mature, and we'll see what happens. Maybe give them a little bit of winter protection. But so this variety here, Musa dajiao, it's a really nice looking plant, and the leaves are sort of like, they look longer and thinner than the Dwarf Cavendish. Once again, it's being grown in a container. Really good to grow them in containers because you can always take them in then, as long as the container's not too big and heavy. So, looking really healthy. Once again, put out really nice amount of growth. You can see the stem looks really healthy there. So I'll show you these leaves. So the leaves are really beautiful. Look at that, longer and thinner, as I said. Really majestic, beautiful plants. Once again, if you're growing non-hardy banana plants, be vigilant as to what the weather is doing, because it really would be annoying to lose one of your plants. Take for example my bigger plant here, the bigger Musa Dwarf Cavendish. Imagine if the frost lost that and I lost 2 years of lovely plant growth there. You know, I would be disappointed, and so would you if that happened to you. So take care with regards to the weather and delicate plants. So if you are looking for a frost hardy banana plant, you could look into Musa dajiao. Now, I had one of these a few years ago, and it certainly is a plant I wish to get again. Probably within the next year or so I will indeed get one and plant it outside. So my understanding of this is the fruit that comes from this has many seeds in it, if you get it to fruit anyway, and so the fruit has seeds in, and they are largely classed as inedible. But I may or may not be wrong in that, because I've got no experience of having one fruit for me. But comment down below if you've ever had a banana plant, whatever variety, Musa dajiao, whatever, fruit in a cold climate. I would be very interested to hear from that. But anyway, if you like my work, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. Check them videos out down below. You'll probably find them very useful indeed. And I shall see you in the next video. Enjoy whatever it is you're doing.